What's going on? It's the Objective Jerk, and I'm that jerk. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is doing well and, having good times, going to work, making money, paying bills, living life, going to church. If you don't believe in church, then getting some exercise at least, right? Staying off social media a little bit. Man, yeah, it's a killer, right? I'm really trying to stay away from I'm always trying to. It's hard though, it's like smartphones, man, they just suck. They're awesome, but they suck. And, you try and avoid some things, but it's like it's right there. You're on your phone doing something else and you see the notification. You gotta just turn off notifications, I guess. Turn off your notifications and everything. So that way you're not, if you're doing other stuff, you won't just kind of see it and be tempted. Oh, let me check real quick. Just check it whenever. Because I just don't think it's healthy to be just, checking your stuff multiple times a day and whatever. I'm trying to, I have some of my stuff turned off, but I should just turn all of it. And I don't always check. I'm not like a huge, I try and let things go for a while, at least a few days before I'll, open up an app and see what notifications, although they're all, it's like the only, like Twitter, I don't get on Twitter at all, basically. I get on there to post stuff real quick, and that's kind of it. Because there's so much information. Some of it's misinformation, and some of it's just, fear mongering and stuff. So I don't even get on there. I'm glad that, Musk bought it and everything, and it's, not controlled by liberals, and then people, ooh, it's controlled by conservative. And it's like, not really. I guess technically, if you want to say that, but it's more free, right? So, because that's the thing, is like, and then there was a lot of censorship for people who had conservative opinions, like on Facebook, man. I used to get hit with, what do they call it? I forget now, all the time. And then I would lose this or lose that. It doesn't happen anymore, I guess maybe you could say I don't post as much stuff, but I didn't really post that much stuff then either. But it's like, if you said anything that was like, oh, Biden sucks. Oh, whoa, I have my friend that kind of does that. He'll get on there and be like, oh, what about? Although he hasn't really commented in a while either. But I'm not posting. So I'm kind of trying to. So this is what's going on with me, right? I'm really trying to be a good Catholic Christian. I'm trying to live that life. We go to, me and the wife at minimum go to mass every week. Usually the family's there. We went yesterday. I'm currently in a praying the rosary every day, which is good. Like before, like when I first, I don't know. I guess you could say converted, because I went through a whole, I went through not at all, but I hate to talk about things I've talked about before, but I guess that's the way it is, right? But yeah, I decided I needed God in my life, and then it was like, okay, so which God? What am I going to do? So I researched, and I tried a few different, I tried Islam even, you know what I mean? I got the Quran and a book on Muhammad, which I didn't read because I stopped. I don't know. I don't remember how long. It was like I was actively like researching and reading, and I was doing the 5 prayers, the salahs, salah, right? And but it wasn't working. If you want more details on that, I have other podcasts, or I don't know if you want me to talk about it more again. But I don't want to turn this into a an hour long podcast. Actually, I don't think I've ever done an hour long. But and then once I felt I did praying, and I'm not going to get into the details, but like I found that okay, Jesus was the way. At first it was like I was trying to like okay, what religion doesn't involve Jesus, right? I don't know why, but and then it was basically like Protestant, so I was reading the Bible and doing the thing and learning how evil Catholicism was and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I was just like, okay, whatever. But then it was like I started catching some people that were in the Orthodox, the Orthodoxy, the other kind of Catholic, and so then anyway, so I went through this whole path and found myself on Catholicism, and the whole time I was on that path, I felt unsure, or I felt like okay, I'm trying to figure it out, whatever. But once, God, when was it or how? I don't remember exactly, but once I figured it out and once I landed on Catholicism, it was like, oh, well, this is it. It's like it's been right here in front of my face the whole time. I've just been avoiding it. And then I have no doubts now. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's enough of that. But there was a reason I was talking about this, but I forgot. Crap. Oh gosh. The church. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm trying to be a good Catholic, right? So it's and like a lot of people, I got pretty into the politics and following the politics and this and that and just being. But I'm slowly getting to the point where it's not important. I mean, politics. It's not important. It isn't. What's important is God and your relationship with God and everything. Really, that's what it is. I mean, but so I'm trying to focus just more on that, not worry about who's the president, who's whatever this and that, because when the time comes, none of that matters. None of it matters. The only thing that matters is your devotion, and your belief and everything. So I'm slowly kind of getting there. I stopped following not all, but just a few political individuals that are nothing but politics. Like I watch some content creators that do a little of everything, or some that just focus strictly on politics, and it's just and they, even when there's nothing going on, there's breaking news, and it's just like it's kind of, I don't know, I don't want that to be my focus. I don't want that to I mean, it's like I'm still gonna pay attention, but it's just not gonna be so yeah, so actually I haven't posted anti-liberal stuff, and like most of the time I would just post kind of jokes. I'd post something that's like pro Trump or something, just to kind of make my one friend, I guess. I don't know. It's funny because there's only like a few people. I don't know. Let's see, maybe like a handful. I mean, I don't really have a ton of interaction anyway. I don't have that many friends because I got rid of my original Facebook a few years ago. So I don't actually have that many friends on my Facebook. I don't have many. Well, that sounds bad, but it's true though. Actually, I don't have many friends either because they're all in the States. And yes, there's, man, I'm going all over the place, but yes, there's, you know, you have Skype or whatever. You can talk and this and that, but the time difference makes it just kind of hard to do it on like a regular basis, I guess, People got their lives going on. Me, I'm just sitting here doing whatever. And so my friends are basically my children and my wife. I have my mountain bike friends and stuff like that, but it's rainy season right now, so nobody's riding their bike too often. So I haven't really seen them much. Um, so yeah, so I've just been trying to, just been going to the gym with my son and everything. But anyway, uh, so yes, I am. I mean, even before I made the conscious decision to, you know, cut back on political posts. You know, the quote unquote censorship like completely stopped. There was a time where like every other post would get like a thing or, oh hey, that's not cool, and it pissed me off because it's like whatever. They it is straight up censored because it's not like I was saying, Joe Biden was caught, you know, doing something. Like it wasn't like a complete lie. It was actually actual truth. But then they try and like, oh well, no, that was. They try and spin it to like they pick like maybe the date was wrong or something, and they'll say, oh, that's false information. And then the reason was because, oh, it's because it was light blue, not blue. You know what I mean? It's like, well, it's still true. So, so they would do stuff like that. It was just annoying. And then so that would piss me off more. So then I would want to keep, you know, like, and it's like, for what? That's, I don't know, it's just dumb. So anyway, so maybe it's easier because, the guy I voted for is in office and I feel like things are going well. And yeah, I guess, it is easier than when, it was Biden. And every time you just look at the grotesqueness that was the Biden administration. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm trying to just, you know, I can't like nonstop everything God and Jesus and the Bible and everything like that. I mean, I have lots of books too, though. Like I got books that I'm reading about how, you know, the Vatican became the city, the Catholic headquarters, instead of Jerusalem. The whole history of how that happened and all that kind of stuff, and just different books on that. Um, Talking about the popes, the first, five popes, and yeah. So, and then try and focus on um, watching things about, you know, the faith, because it does make me happier. I'm trying to. I do feel better, and I stopped taking all of my meds now. I mean, I take like Tylenol or whatever. I'm taking blood pressure medicine because I'm always told, oh, you can't just stop it, which is true, but I think I'm all right. I think I could probably get away with taking it, but I'm still taking it until I can get the doctor. I gotta just get in a little bit better shape. I'm getting there. Getting there. Not really, but um yeah, so that's it. Okay, that's enough of me. Man, I hate when I ramble on about myself. So I mean, but that's kind of the point. One of the reasons why I do this, just to kind of share stuff. I don't know. Let's see. Today's the first day of school for my kids. So my wife dropped them off. Um, and then my son, he starts college like in a week or two or something. And he's all nervous, which I guess I would be too. It's so funny though how like just different he is compared to me. I mean, we're very similar in a lot of ways, but we're also very different. You know, and it's just a generation thing too. It's not so much me, but it seems to be kind of like my generation. I was never home as a kid. You know what I mean? Was always running around the streets with my friends, right? Um, and then when driver's ed happened, that was the only class I ever got straight A's. Like I got 100% grade on everything. Like I could pay attention and I was focused because I wanted to drive. I wanted to be a good driver, and I wanted a car. I wanted that freedom. And then as soon as I was able to, I moved out with a friend. I wanted to get out on my own. It's different for like my son. Like he's completely content being here, and he's not really big on he never wants to drive. We have like an electric golf cart that he is basically like his mode of transportation, that he drives around, which is kind of nice because you couldn't do that in the States, because we drive on the road. When you have people in these golf carts, they can go 20 miles an hour at most driving on the highway. It's like, it's just crazy. Um, but I don't know. When I was his age, man, I would have been like, I was bugging my mom. Let's go drive. Let's go drive. Let's go somewhere. You got to go somewhere. I want to drive. When I had my permit and stuff. And he's just not the same. Like we live in like a small town. So, I mean, a car is not, it's not a requirement. He likes to walk, and you can walk anywhere in our town within like 15 minutes, ish. So, and then you have the tricycles, you can get a ride. So, I mean, it's just not required unless he had to go, unless you got to go to the next town or whatever, which originally he was going to go to college in the bigger city that's close by. So he would have had to take like a bus, or he was going to have to start driving and stuff. But he ended up going to the college that's here, so it's close by. It's just, it's just I don't know, maybe if we were in the States, it'd be different. But I don't know. He just, it's not his priority. For me, driving was a priority. Getting my license, getting a car. Yeah. But he's just like, eh. I just find that weird. But so he's doing that. And that's kind of this. Well, that's what's going. Oh, my wife bought a car, or we bought a car, but it's for her. Little Mitsubishi Expander X-Force? No, Cross. Yeah, Cross. It's a pretty nice car. We've had nothing but like used cars here, which is nice because it's like no car notes, but it's just like every month we have to, you got to work on it. You got to get something replaced. You got to get something fixed. And for me, that's fine. Like for my, but it's like when both our vehicles, and, there's been a couple times where we didn't have a vehicle because, one was being worked on and this one, something was wrong with it. So all we had was like the little Tok, the Indian Bajaj Tok, which is, that thing's pretty cool, man. Because I mean, we bought it brand new, so it's reliable right now. But yeah, it's nice around town. And then plus, it has that manual start. So if you leave like the line on or whatever and you kill the battery, it's got that little hand like crank thing. So you can just, so it's like when you would drop the clutch, when you push start a car, a manual, it's the same kind of thing. You just pull on it and it kind of kicks it on, and then it'll charge the battery. And so basically the Tok has been the little like jump starter too for my other car. So if one of our cars is dead, I have jumper cables in that, and that's what I use to jump start the car. So it's like a little portable car charger, whatever, jump starter, battery car charger, and plus I drive it to the store or whatever. I don't know. But then again, because it's rainy season, I drive a little bit less. Um, so, but anyway, so she got that vehicle, so we got a new vehicle. Plus, it's a 7-seater. We can go on little trips and don't have to worry about any kind of thing breaking on it. But then we have a car note, but it's not too bad. So, and so now, what was our main vehicle, the truck, is now just like my vehicle. So it just kind of, that'll just sit there, and then I'll use it when I go mountain biking or something or whatever. Or if I got to go to the dump. Oh man, I was gonna do that today. I was gonna take some trash to the dump. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. I gotta plan it though, man. I gotta do my to-do list. Okay. Man, you know what? I'm almost done with this episode, and I haven't even talked about why I was gonna record it. Just in your jaw jacking. Okay. I don't know, but a part of me doesn't want to talk about it because it's like I talk about it. I'm just kind of tired of it. Well, I won't talk about much, I guess. Anyway, so I just saw a thing. It was like in Portland. First of all, Portland is a shit show, dude. It's just crazy there. I remember even when I was younger and I was a quote unquote liberal, Portland felt weird. You know what I mean? Weird people. Just, I felt like it was just very hippie-ish, dreadlock, stinky, don't shower, don't shave armpit, very liberal. You know what I mean? Like, I had some friends that lived there, and they'd be better at what do you call it? Talking about what it's like to live there. But I mean, they lived there for at least a year. I want to say it was longer than that, though.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thanks again for listening to The Objective Jerk. I greatly appreciate it. If you could like, subscribe, comment on wherever you're finding this, and you can also email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. So hope you're enjoying it, and please continue on with the episode. Man, I don't remember the why too. That was kind of crazy. Yeah, I remember they moved there. So I used to go and visit, every, I don't know, twice a month maybe. I'd go down there, hang out for a weekend or something. And yeah, it just had this, it was just different. You know what I mean? So, and Portland's always been like that. I think the last time I was in Portland was or was it me, or did just my wife go? I think my wife just went. Yeah, my wife went because she went for work, and she stopped off at some donut place in Portland that has really good donuts. Yeah, so I didn't go. Anyway, so there's a coffee shop there, I guess in North Portland, and this owner, I want to say it's called Cathedral Coffee, and people probably think like, oh, he's Christian or whatever, but it doesn't matter. So the guy has a coffee shop. He's got a business, right? And and Portland, as you know, is very, very, very liberal. And so some of his employees, I guess, put up some pride flags in the coffee shop, and he took them down because he has no flags. He's trying to just, I'm not here for just anybody. I'm here for everyone. You know what I mean? Wait, did that make sense? He just says he wants the coffee shop to be accessible for everyone, for Muslims, Christians, gays, straights, Republican, Democrat. It doesn't matter. Just, you're there to get coffee. Okay. And it's a smart way to do business. These businesses that focus on certain demographics or certain political ideologies, they never last. They don't. You see them all the time. Oh, there's the one that charges extra for men to come in, and then they're out of business. It's just stupid. It's just not good business, And so this guy's smart. So then, and So people are like, oh, I don't want to go there because he doesn't like. I mean, it's probably a lot smaller percentage of people that actually feel this way. And for all I know, the one person that they talk to is the only person that feels this way. But it's just, it's like, come on, man. It's just common sense. How are you going to be just because he doesn't have the pride flag? Well, so you want him to put up a Nazi flag, uh, Black Lives Matter, Christian, I mean, like every kind of flag, you know what I mean? It's like, no, no flags. That's a policy. And it's smart, you know? I mean, he doesn't even have like an American flag, I don't think, which that's the only one that you should have. But it's like, it's just, dude, we're not here to, we're here to sell coffee, So it's like, yeah, maybe, during the Biden administration, if you had Rainbow Cafe, it, I feel like I was like Stevie Wonder right there. I was trying to pop my neck. Oh, there we go. It might have been popular for a little while. Or even right now, if you had MAGA Cafe, in certain places, it might be popular, but it's not going to stay that way forever, because the the landscape is always changing. So to sit there and pick an ideology and use that as like a marketing strategy is just stupid. And then so and then people are like, oh, it's not inclusive. What do you mean? It's the most inclusive. It's for everybody. It's like it just I don't know. It just kind of bugs me. And then like I saw some clips which I thought was funny. How like they're liberals who are like, oh my gosh, there's the Democrats and the liberals are just going so far left crazy that they're pushing a lot of who were once liberals, and they're not even pushing anybody. It's just because it's going so far left that now if you're just a regular Democrat, you're looked at as almost conservative. You know what I mean? But like I keep hearing this where people are like, oh my gosh, the Democrat Party or the Liberal Party is just it's driving me nuts. She's like, and I'm a liberal, I grew up this and that. I recycle. It's like everybody recycles. Since when did so what? I don't understand the recycling thing. Is it because of the global warming thing? Everybody who is anybody, it doesn't matter whatever they recycle. You know what I mean? They don't like to live in trash and filth, and even though recycling is kind of not like people recycle way more products that they're able to recycle. You know what I mean? So a lot of stuff ends up getting thrown away anyway. But the thing is, you pick up trash and you recycle, you do your part, and that's fine. But it's like that's not a liberal thing, you know? I mean, you have people that throw trash and litter all the time. That doesn't make them conservative or liberal. Just makes them lazy. I can't stand people that do that shit. I don't recycle. I mean, kinda. I separate our stuff. Like we have plastics and cans and some trash, and I take it to the dump. But then they just have us dump it. It's kind of weird, but we just dump it, and I think they go through it. But I'm just like, why don't you guys have like an area for it? And I'll dump it there for I don't know. I feel like I'm doing work for nothing, but I still do it. I don't believe in global warming. It's just climate change. Yes, climate changes, but it changes regardless if we're here or not. So it's like I'm not saying, you know, we should just be dumping oil in the ocean. No. It's like I don't know, the whole thing with that's just some of that stuff. I recycle. It's like, dude, everybody recycles. That doesn't mean anything. Um and then I guess oh man, I'm already at 29 minutes. Damn. I was going to talk about New York and how it's kind of getting to the point, and some of the cities are getting to the point of how New York was back in the 70s when it was like a shithole. And now it's back again, right? It's like we were in the 70s when there was gas prices were crazy, and then gas lines and just shit was nuts, and crime. See, that's the thing is like, dude, liberalism is, I mean, you got to have it. It's not, there's lots of good things from it. It's just, man, it's just gotten crazy now. But you can't, you can't have, defunding the police. You can't have soft on crime stuff. You got to be somewhat strict because that's why shit is the way it is, because, oh, if you steal $999, you're not going to be charged with nothing. So then that's why you got catalytic converters and just all kinds of stuff and people leaving their windows open so nobody breaks their windows and all this kind of, it's like people just, they forget, that, the city was like this before. And they fixed it. They got it better. They got, they cut down on, the mob and made stricter. You just got to have, you can't have like a liberal district attorney and liberal, you know what I mean? There's just certain things that you got to be strict on. Let people do their jobs. Let them, and then save the liberalism for other stuff, man. It's like, I don't, a world filled with conservatives wouldn't work, and a world filled with liberals would definitely not work. You got the balance, you got the little give and take and everything, but it's like each side really wants to just take over, and it doesn't matter because, like I said, Catholicism is what matters. America. Some people say America was doomed from the get-go because of freedom of religion and various things. Because look at how, how crazy it is, And I kind of tend to agree with it that, I mean, even though America was formed on Protestantism, whatever, um, them, you just can't have, it should be, if you want to come to America, great. You go through this system, but it's like you can't bring what you left with you. You know what I mean? It's like people don't like where they live, the country, the politics, the religion, whatever. And then they come over the States but then they continue pushing all that crap, Or maybe not so much religion, you have Muslims that want to come to America to make a better life, but it's like you need to, just letting all these mosques and everything, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So it's like it's like, and liberal conservatism, they're all from the same puppeteer, they really are. And you really notice that too, like when you just see all these old presidents, you see the debates and they talk so much crap about each other and this and that, and then when one person leaves and all of a sudden they're friends, and it's all theatrics for us to think that we're making a difference by voting when you're not. We're not. Yes, Trump is the administration. They stopped the illegal immigrants coming over the border and did some various things, but it's going to come back again. Maybe in 20 years, 10, 20 years, it's going to come back, and the same thing. It's like the needle going from, being moral to immoral it's always chugging along. But it's like when you have an administration like Biden, it's going faster. So now with Trump, it's like, okay, it stopped for a little bit, but it's still slowly kind of going, though. We're never going to go back. It's just going to continue, and then eventually it is going to be a shithole. It's not going to work. So, but by then I won't be here, and But anyway, so it's just, but it doesn't matter. What matters is Jesus, God, and just living by the standards that Jesus set. That's and Catholicism, because that's the church that Jesus created. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I've been talking for 34 minutes. I think this might be the longest one. Anyway, no. What? Anyway, no. Anyway, no. Oh, bueno. I just made up. Anyway. Gosh. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate your time. Let me know what you think. God bless, and I'll see you guys next time. All right. Bye. You just put yourself through another episode of The Objective Jerk. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Please email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, comment, wherever you find this, follow. It all helps. But thanks again, and I'll see you next time.